Absolutely. Abbas, as you know, our series is called Shaping African Conversations, and as much as we try and highlight, the positive things that are going on in the African continent, I don't think we can actually, move away from the fact that, a lot of Africa is suffering with terms of conflict and famine, and some of the stuff that we don't really like to hear or we don't really like to acknowledge.
Sure.
And I think, just from what I've seen with the Red Cross, is the Red Cross is such a big part of that story, because they're the first people to be there. They're the first people to actually just try and, respond to any of these disasters. What do you think Africa needs to do to actually not just change the narrative, but to get out of this awful sort of cycle that we have?
I guess for me, Gina, as you rightly say, it is so sad as an African to see the sheer negativity that is being peddled out there, when it could be equally very, very positive. We talked about Ebola earlier. Who were the first responders? They were young Africans.
Exactly.
With nothing but with their, heart and mind and body. They didn't even know that when you go and pick this body to go and bury it, culturally, traditionally, you want to even wash and hug your relatives and all that. And it was a cultural conflict when this disease came, and between those professionals and the communities that we were working with. But always the first responder will be someone from the local community.
Exactly.
Always, without any discussion. Africa as a continent provided the largest number of doctors and public health people for the 3 countries on the Ebola. But were we able to communicate effectively? Were we able to respond? I believe the African Union could have been on the forefront to say that, we will find resources, tell our partners, donors, give us the resources, we'll use African health workers, doctors and nurses.
Because we have the skill.
We have the skill, we have the know-how, just the material, financial and equipment. The same thing with African militaries. I mean, all these countries where people are having civil war and fighting, and where you have all these, peacekeepers, a lot of them could have been working to fight that emergency. But on the other hand, I would say that this continent has everything that is possible, that it takes for them to do the right thing. It's about leadership, it's about good governance, about prudent financial management. It's not for lack of resources. Look at 2 airlines, even during that crisis. Moroccan Airlines and Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways, for whatever reason, we stopped flying to West Africa. At the hour of need.
Okay? Just when they needed people to be able to get in there.
Yes. Look at Morocco Airlines. They continued flying throughout. They're the only lifeline to go to Europe at the time, in spite of the Ebola. Here we were afraid and putting people on quarantine and all that, which was necessary on one hand, but the airline could still be flying. I don't think they've recovered from that challenge up to now. But looking at health workers, looking at emergency workers, looking at professionals, looking at resources, Gina. I mean, I remember talking to Dlamini Zuma and the head of IFRC in August of 2014 in Addis, and saying, look, we did in Kenya, Kenyans for Kenya in 2012. If we had done Africans for Africa, and we raised $10 million in Kenya in 6 weeks, imagine how much could we have raised for Africa.
Absolutely. And
people say, no, the discussion with Mo Ibrahim in New York and what have you. Why should I go to New York and not discuss African issues here in this continent?
And I think sometimes the bureaucracy just stops us from acting. Sometimes we just sit and just say, we're discussing. By then the crisis has come. It's gone, people have died. I mean, it's just sad.
No. So, I mean, it needed like the drive we had here, Kenyans for Kenya. Look at the African private sector, how many would have come on board?
Exactly.
All the genuine African corporates could have put in lots of resources. Our governments could all have donated money into that pool and not wait for UN and WHO and, the US, American President Obama sending, American military doctors and medical personnel. Why could we not send our African military doctors?
Yeah, it would have been faster.
Yes.
And, the response time. Abbas, I think what I've loved about your leadership and, the involvement that I've had with the Red Cross is that it's so quick to get a response. Like if we sometimes we talk in the morning and make a decision on what to do, and by midday we'll have a press conference and we'll do it. And I think that's really been a large success of the Kenya Red Cross, because there's no drama. You just like, if you want to do it, let's just do it and let's just move on. And that's enabled the Red Cross to really flourish under you. It's enabled a number of lives to be saved and communities to be helped, because bureaucracy really does slow everything down. It's just, it kills things.
And as you said, it's about decision making. In life, what I say to my staff is, make decisions. Even if it's the wrong one, the first one, you learn from it. But not making decisions is even worse, because the business we're in is about life and death.
Time.
It's about time.
Yeah.
And if you can't make a decision, then you have no business being in this business. And I call it business deliberately because it is a business. It's humanitarian business, and it comes with a price, and we cannot afford to lose a life.
And it's a heavy responsibility.
It's a very heavy responsibility. So I'm actually quite excited with the young people that Kenya Red Cross is able to attract. We've invested heavily in our people. We send people to even do masters and MBA.
Oh, they're incredible. I mean, incredible people at the Red Cross. And they're very passionate. And that's not something that you can buy. That's not something you can send somebody to get. No. They're just passionate human beings that want to make a difference. And I think that's what I love about the talent that you attract, is that they're all very keen to impact.
So passion and fire in the belly. If you don't have those things, then you have no business being there.
Absolutely. Abbas, as we close, I think there are a lot of individual Kenyans that would love to be part of the Red Cross in some way. And I think sometimes, when we talk about communicating, maybe it's not clear enough on how do individuals either become members or become volunteers, because for sure we need them.
Sure.
Can we explain, like 2018, let 2018 be the year of the Red Cross for individuals, and let us start that drive? And how would an individual get involved in the work that we do?
So I like that slogan. I like that those words. If we can actually use that as a slogan to say it's a year of individuals going in and supporting Kenya Red Cross, I'd be very happy. So to become a member is very simple. You can go online on the Red Cross website and become a life member. You can pay your membership. There's ordinary, there's annual, there's a life membership. Life membership is 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Normally, you join, a member will join any of our branches countrywide, and we have 64 local branches, 47 county branches, and 8 regional offices. The national office we don't, but because we have an online platform on a mobile application, one can become a member there very easily. There are those who want to become a member and say, look, I'm happy to be a member, but I have no time to add on or to do anything for the Red Cross. There are those who want to be members, but also say, look, can I become a volunteer? Can I give my time when need be? It can be on your skills, doctor, a nurse, you could be a driver, you could be a logistician, you could be an accountant, you could be a musician, you can be anything.
So everybody can contribute to the Red Cross in some way.
Everyone can contribute to the Red Cross. Everyone is welcome to join the Red Cross. Everyone has a role to play. This is a national institution. It's a membership based. The owners of this society are members, ordinary Kenyans. Every Kenyan is a stakeholder. Everyone who lives and resides in this country is a stakeholder. Me and my staff who are working are employed people. We're not the owners of the society. Society belongs to you. But we want everyone to join. We want everyone to associate themselves with Kenya Red Cross. We have 45+ million Kenya shillings. If everyone even gave 1 shilling every month, we have 45 million shillings every month. We can, better the lives of X number of Kenyans every month, every year. And that's what I want actually to happen in 2018. Should be a year of individual giving. We want to really get into the individual. Some who can do daily, some can do monthly, can do weekly, can do yearly. And that's what we really want to promote, because resource mobilization, Kenyans are very caring and very giving. I mean, 4 years ago, international surveys were done, and Kenya was number 17 in the world in giving.
In giving, yeah. We do. We give.
So we're very
and we
giving,
care.
and we care. So really, 2018, I would really like to be a year of Kenyans associating themselves with the Red Cross, giving to the Red Cross, and giving back to our society. And the society is the bigger society, not even Kenya Red Cross. And that's what I really want to look and. Is, Gina, as you rightly say, we from the humanitarian are not as good as you in the private sector, and in terms of communication and partnership. Maybe that's something we can work with Gina Dean to work on this issue and to say, okay, how do we launch a campaign of Kenyans associating themselves with the Red Cross next year, 2018?
Well, you know, just from me in the time that I've been the Goodwill Ambassador of the Kenya Red Cross, I mean, there's been a real shift in my life in terms of just knowing that you go to sleep at night and you know that you're impacting a life. And I think, you know, I think that's just, if I could just share the one thing that, you know, everyone can have, is just knowing that they've contributed to somebody else's life. It's such a special, I mean, you can't buy that stuff. No. You really can't.
No value.
And so I would just, you know, I would really urge anybody that's watching that wants to join, I will put up on the screen how you can join in terms of the app, in terms of the website. But I would really urge individuals, because corporates give and, you know, private sector's there, but as individuals, as, you know, it doesn't matter where you're at on your salary scale or whatever, but as Abbas said, if everybody gave 1 shilling, the lives of this entire country could really change by your contribution. So I'm excited that you've been watching Shaping African Conversations. It's been my absolute pleasure to have the incredible Abbas Goulet with us this afternoon. And I'm very excited to see 2018, to see us increase the number of individuals that are contributing and are participating in the incredible work that the Kenya Red Cross does.
My name is Abbas Goulet, Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross Society. Glad to be here as part of the conversation on Shaping African Conversations.